Okay, what's up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today with a Harpie deck profile. And a bit of unique deck profile because I was asked via what's it? Oh, I was asked via YouTube through comments from one of my subscribers, BJ. No, that's not a pun. No references here. He he or she asked if I could do two deck profiles, one for Windwitch, Harpies, and the other I believe for True Draco. I don't know as much. Well, I did do the best I can. And I also remembered I had previously did Windwitch in True Draco. So what I'm doing is I'm giving him or her a 2-for-1. Uh, um, a Windwitch and a Shrew Draco variations of Harpies. So I'm going to start off pretty much with the Windwitch variation. I'm going to go through the deck list and then I'm just going to go over my reasons and my choices for what's in here. So for the so let's start off with the main deck. We got for our monsters 3 Harpie Chandler, 3 Harpie Dancer, 3 Harpie Harpist, 3 Harpie Queen, and Harpie Lady 1. For the Wind Witches, we're rocking 2 Glass Bell, 2 Ice Bell, and 2 Snow Bell. For the spells, it's 3 Hysteric Sign, 2 Harpies Hunting Ground, 1 Elegant Egotist, 1 Divine Wind of the East Valley, 1 Terraforming, 1 Rageki, and 1 Dark Hole. To follow them are the Traps, and it's 3 Harpies Featherlorn, 3 Hysteric Party, 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Solemn Strike. And then for my extra deck, my synchro monsters are as follow: 1 Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Spirit, 1 Mistworm, 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, 1 Windwitch Winter Bell, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon. And my seeds are 1 Castell, 1 Ice, 1 Lightning Chidori, 1 Ice Beast Zero Fine, 1 Harpie's Head Phantasmal Dragon, 1 Gaga Cowboy, and 1 number 41. And then for my link monsters are 1 Gaia Saber and 1 Decode Talker. So the last, if you haven't noticed, my count for my extra deck says 13. And the reason why is because of something that I wanted to talk about. Unfortunately, the YGL mobile that I'm using is not updated at the time of this recording. So Great Fly are the last 2 monsters that would be featured in this deck. Everyone who probably doesn't know, I have a video up for Great Fly and discussing Great Fly and the amount of these Great Fly can do for this deck. Well, for Harpies in general, as well as every other wind attributed deck in the game. So that's why I left the 2 open spaces. And then the rest of the monsters that could be featured in here are Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, an extra Castell, and Lightning Chidori, Monster Reborn, and Harpie's Hunting Ground. So let's just go over my choices. So everybody who knows me knows I like the 15 Harpie lineup. And the fact that Wind Witches are just monsters makes it a lot better because then I can just X out a lot of spells and traps. And then I can just focus on the monster count. But I think the monsters themselves, because of the fact that Harpies are wind, Wingies, the Snowbell, and Glassbell can easily hit the board. Similar to Cyber Dragons and stuff like that. I think that's actually, no, that is Icebell who can special summon cells. And my phone wanted to let me know that it's that lookout is updated. Thanks, lookout. That was not intentional, but yes, because of how Icebell works, it's easy to go grab Glassbell and Snowbell. It's easy to make synchro monsters off of them, and just the whole synergy they have with Harpies. I love Wind Witches as a subtype, pretty much like a combo piece, because they, like I said, they help you make so many great synchro monsters. And when outside of Miss Valley, hasn't really been able to do that as generic sense. And I'm glad the Windwitches help with that. Uh, and just the whole combinations that it can do. I was trying to fit in the last monster, which I think is the the fusion monster. But I don't want to run like it. Windwitch doesn't have a polymerization built-in factor, so I kind of just X'd out that monster, unfortunately. But fortunately, because I don't run any fusion spells. Um, and then just the spells and trap lineup was really just simple. Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. I want to talk about that card for a minute because this card is amazing. So I can understand why it's still at 1. Um, Combining it with Harpie Dancer, you can easily build a board of monsters. Not to mention, because of the way the Wind Witches work, you can special summon one of them, and then search, and then special summon the other in response to the other one searching for it, and then go and get Snowbell, or get pretty much one can get the other to get the other to get the other. And I can understand in a combination with Harpies, that would be so good and bad. And like, it's bad for your opponent because at a time you'll easily have like a Great Fly with a Stardust or a Mistworm, and they're untouchable and they're recoverable. So it can get pretty crazy like that. And then on top of that, Divine Wind's already high potential with Harpies, and putting Harpie monsters on the board is just crazy. So that's why I did decide to put in. I dropped it for the Harpies Hunting Ground. I just didn't have time to put in Monster Reborn. That's the unfortunate part. But I didn't want to go over 40. I wanted it to be 42. I mean, I wanted it to be 40. I didn't want it to go over 41 or 2. Raigeki, Dark Hole are pretty much here to clear fodder. Terraforming searches for Divine Wind. And I dropped the Hunting Ground. Oh, I did say that. I dropped the Hunting Ground just to add the Divine Wind. For the traps, I didn't have any other trap lineup I wanted to add, but these. Harpie's Feather Storm is the perfect example of a perfect hand trap, a utilized trap card with its archetype. The only downside is with Feather Storm is the last effect, which we can't do in the TCG because TCG still has Harpie's Feather Duster banned. It'd be nice to see Feather Duster come off the list. I mean, Monster Reborn and Solemn Judgment did. In response to those decks, I guess, having synergy with a ton of the new cards coming out, and not to mention Monster Reborn did get its original art printed in the TCG, so shout outs to Konami for well planning that out. Hysteric Party, I think, is still a must-have of 3, especially with the bulk of Harpie ladies. Just Harpies in general. If you're going to play Harpies, you need to play a ton of the Hysteric Party. Unless you opt out to... No, even then, you should play Hysteric Party. A set of Hysteric Party. And it contradicts a lot of the, oh, you don't want to draw it because it's a 3-up. Welcome to Game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where there are more decks in this game that have multiples of 3s and still manage to do well. I.e., look at any deck with Fairy Tale Snow and 60 cards and Pot of Desire. All 3 of those cards in the deck. So, the Solemn Brigade is the Solemn Brigade. Not much more to say about them. And then for the extra deck, I just cut a lot of the monsters down. Well, I only cut out 1 Castella, 1 Lightning Chidori, because I want to still keep in what are those monsters? Oh, Great Flies. But I think at that point, once Great Fly comes out, I'm probably just gonna dump both Deco Talker and Gaia Saber from the extra deck. But every other extra deck monster stays the same. In Mistworm, I want to talk. Oh, well, Crystal Green Synchro Dragon and Winter Bell are awesome too. But I wanted to talk about the Mistworm. Mistworm in this deck is a beast because you could easily make it if you get at least 2 Harpie monsters, which is not hard, and Snowbell. Once you do that, you pretty much have it beat. Like, just get 2 wind monsters that are level 4 in the Snowbell. Like, it can be Glass Bell and Harpie Dancer, and bam, you have an instant Miss Order that can be destroyed by card effect. I wish Trishula was wind, but unfortunately she isn't. But she is still an option. Stardust Dragon and Black Rose Dragon, I didn't put in here either, just because they are some options or optional cards if you want to go into them when it comes to level 7s and level 8s as some defensive cards. So that is pretty much it for this deck profile. Oh, wait. Before I go, I do want to explain the Harpie League once, which I think is obvious. Additional 300 attack to all your wind monsters. Since majority of your cards are wind, bam, there's your bonus. Okay, so that is the end of this deck profile. And I want to say thank you to BJ. BJ at Astronomia. I hope I am not butchering this. So, thank you, BA, because I'm shortening your name, because I tend to... the first part is technically going to be forever known as Blowjob, and which is hysterical, and I'm sure some teenagers are going to go crazy. And BA just sounds so cool, because BA, Burning Abyss. Yu-Gi-Oh puns. But thank you, BA, and I hope you do enjoy this. And if you have any questions, or anyone has any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. So till next time, you guys, HPJ signing out. Take care.